Welcome in here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The Turn 3 Racing Network bringing you more Thursday night short track racing action right here with your Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series presented by Red Light Racing. We welcome you here to the North Wilkesboro Speedway. It is round number 2, the second round of the year. Tonight's race is the Patriot 100 presented by the Old Shed. The Old Shed, our friends over there on Facebook. Check them out every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you auctions live via Facebook Live. Some of the best guys, some of the best products at great deals over there. Check them out Friday nights over at the Old Shed on Facebook. Tell them that your friends from Red Light Racing and the Turn 3 Racing Network sent you their way. But once again, welcome into round number 2. If you missed last week, it was some great racing action at Lanier National. That little track, well, it would fit inside this big old half mile here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. The last week's winner, Brian Hacker, had a duel it out with a couple of these newcomers. Actually, it was 3 rookie candidates that were up there inside that top 3 at the end of the race. Brian Hacker, it was Kenny Ziem, and for some odd reason, all of a sudden, I draw the blank on who was the third driver all the way up at the front. It was Dalton Williamson. Now that my mind does bring it back to me. So I wonder tonight, as Kenny Ziem is at the top of the scoring tower right now. He is actually second as Chuck Sweeting, last year's champion. Just came in here and set down the blistering time here at North Wilkesboro. So that is coming up here. See those 3 drivers in just a couple of moments. But before we head into our qualifying session, we'll take a break here for our national anthem, and we'll be right back here to the North Wilkesboro Speedway.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome back here, race fans, to the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Qualifying is underway, and there you see the driver of the number 1. That is Dalton Williamson. He was one of those fast drivers this week. A brand new paint scheme. It's the Glove Box Racing Chevrolet driver. We'll get the words out here tonight. Right now, Dalton is P number 1 on us here in the timing and scoring. Let's see if he's able to hold on to that throughout our qualifying session. Brian Hacker just finished up his time along with Dalton Williamson. Right now, 3/100ths of a second do separate both those drivers. Brandon Massey in the Old Shed 65. VIP graphics driver. He comes now across the timing and scoring. He'll be shown into the 4th position here tonight. Ken Ziem out of New York, the driver of the number 90. He is currently now getting up to his timed qualifying lap. He ran around about the 6th to 7th position last week at Lanier. Look for him to do a little bit better here at this very racy North Wilkesboro Speedway. Josh Buckley also out here in a brand new draft top. Safe Light Auto Glass Green Tree Forest Supply, Checkered Flag. Auto Supplies on the side of that, trying to look where. Looks like Ken in the number 90, Ziem. He goes to the second quickest on our timing and scoring right now. There's a 17.72 for the driver out of New York. Let's see if Josh Buckley in this draft top entry here for the Red Light Racing crew can go any faster. Lap number 1 for Josh Buckley going to come across. It's going to be 8th quickest for the driver of the black number 2 here tonight. Joe Strano in the Green Forestry Supply entry 43. He is 14th quickest on lap number 1. Will he be able to pick it up here on lap number 2? It will. He will go to the 9th quickest time. 17 drivers have clocked in here tonight, and let's look at the man out of South Glen Falls, New York, the driver of the 96 Old Shed VIP graphics entry. This is Al Smith Jr. as he is 17th fastest on lap number 1. We will see here on lap number 2 if he's able to pick it up just a little bit. Let's see where the driver out of New York winds up. 10th quickest for Al Smith and that 96 machine. Qualifying just about in the books, but here's the driver. Holds the record in the SK Modified Division for the Red Light Racing crew. It is Max Terriol. He did not win the championship last year, but he holds 6 wins under his belt. Nobody else over 2 wins last season other than Max himself. Driver of the 42, hailing out of Canada, did not make a timed lap last week, so he is currently not on our timing or points scoring sheet. As Max will go to the 9th position. This driver here, the number 7, he is out of New York also. That is Kenny Ziems. He was towards the front of the timing and scoring all last week. He wound up with a 2nd place finish. Looks like Max will round out our qualifying session possibly, as he's going to jump up to the 14th position. So right now 20 drivers out of the 23 drivers that have entered into the North Wilkesboro Speedway have taken a time currently. So Max Terriol will come back down pit road here. His qualifying is done. 24 drivers took the green flag last week and coming home with a win. That was Brian Hacker. Finishing in the 2nd position last week was the driver out of New York. That was Kenny Ziems. Sitting 3rd, the man they called Dalton Williamson. All 3 of those drivers battled inside the top 3 all night long, finishing 1, 2, and 3 at the end of that one at Lanier. Chris Hammett was 4th on the timing and scoring. And then it was Josh Slatz, Al Smith Jr., Brandon Massey, Ken Ziems, and TJ McGuire in 9th. Don Coleman rounded out the top 10 at Lanier, and that's actually how your point standings break up and shake down coming into tonight. So we will see which one of these drivers tonight are going to have the hot shoe here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Nobody else looking like they're going to take a qualifying time, so it's going to be Dalton Williamson taking the top spot here tonight. So congratulations to Dalton and that whole crew for taking the pole award here tonight, brought to us by the Old Shed. This is how your Patriot 100 starting lineup will look like here tonight for the main event. Let's see if we can take a quick look at this. This is how your Checkered Flag Auto Supply Inc. starting lineup, brought to us tonight by the Old Shed. Starting, P number 1 here, the driver out of Florida, finished 3rd last week. He's going to start on the pole tonight, the number 1 of Dalton Williamson. Out of New York, driving the number 90, that is going to be Ken Ziems. Starting 3rd here tonight, the driver out of New York, the number 7, that's Kenny Ziems. Don't get it confused, ladies and gentlemen, it's Ken and Kenny. Starting in the 4th spot, the man out of Canada, he drives the 42, that is going to be Max Terriol. Starting in the 5th position, out of Illinois, it's the 11 Illinois. That is Brian Hacker, last week's winner. Don Coleman has a 6th place starting spot in the Swagger Inn 97 machine. He'll start 6th. 7th, A.J. Rogers in the 92. Then it's the number 2 of Joshua Buckley in 8th. 9th position, the Old Shed, number 65 of Brandon Massey. Then it's the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre. The 43, it's the Green Forestry Supply 43 of Joe Strano. And the number 96, starting in 12th, that is Al Smith Jr. Starting just outside the top 12 in the 13th position, the 54, that is Rex Hoyle. Then Dan Butler in the Racing School number 10 machine. He'll start 14th. 15th here tonight, driving the number 20, that is Josh Slatz. Driving in the 16th position here to start things off, the number 19, that is Travis Minto. Starting in the 17th spot, it's the Higgins Hill Racing. Number 40, that is Rob Higgins. Starting 18th on the grid, driving the 37 out of New York, it will be Brian Robinson. 19th on the board, making his first attempt here in the Red Light SK division, going to be Daryl Clauter. Then it's Alex Schlatt starting there in 20th. 21st spot, Chuck Sweeting and Chris Fritz. Starting shotgun, it's going to be Tim Williams on the end of the field here. That's your starting lineup tonight for the Patriot 100, presented by the Old Shed as the iRacing Pace Truck dives in here. Let's go racing. 100 laps the distance, race fans. Here we go, SK Modified Racing at North Wilkesboro. As they head into turn one, caution flag going to come out onto the speedway. One of them turned around, Brian Robinson, and I believe that may be the driver of the 19. That is Travis Minto, and the F5 IPA driver looks like it might be going to the Old Shed here tonight. That is not to be mistaken with the driver of the number 20 on the Monday Night Red Light Racing Series. That's Brandon Minto, the brother here of Travis. Travis out here tonight making the second start of the season in that green F5 IPA machine. We will wait for the truck to tell us they have it queued up for us here at North Wilkesboro. Looks like Chuck Sweeting, also in the 26, is involved in this. Tim Williams, Alex Schlatt, a couple drivers. It looks like Chris Fritz and Brian Robinson also. Let's take it back here on the initial restart here. Let's stay high and focus on these drivers. They're all right there at about the mid-pack. Oh, a big checkup on the outside. Nowhere for Robinson to go right into the 19, and I believe that's the 3 of Chris Fritz. He had nowhere to go either. We'll go back here. Let's see if we can get her on board here with Chris Fritz. You heard Fritz. He was completely off the gas trying to slow up that number 3. There was just nowhere he was going to go and hide from. That's our Old Shed onboard camera here tonight. So that'll bring out the first caution flag of the evening. A handful of drivers about mid-pack back getting stacked up. A couple of them involved were Tim Williams, Chris Fritz, Alex Schlatt, Chuck Sweeting, Brian Robinson, and Travis Minto. Looks like right now Chuck Sweeting is on the tail end of the lead lap. We'll see if he's able to get his lap back along with Slatts and Fritz and Williamson. They're all lined up here behind the iRacing Pace Truck. So one caution flag going to fly immediately at the drop of the green flag here tonight. All these drivers will get the wave around as we will get this 1 to go marker here at North Wilkesboro. Race fans, don't forget, the Red Light SK Modified Series presented by the Checkered Flag Auto Supplies. If you're ever in Air, Massachusetts, go ahead and stop into the family-owned business up there. Tell them that we say hello. A bunch of good group of gentlemen and ladies up there that can get you the right parts for your cars, as we're going to need them here as we go back to the green flag racing. Try number 2. Kenzie is going to get a great start on the outside. We'll race it down into turn number 1 for the first time here tonight under the green flag conditions. Out of turn 2, Kenzie to the outside of the 90. Got a great start. Dalton Williamson, though, going to battle back as he goes right back down to the bottom here. He'll lead the first lap of green flag competition at North Wilkesboro. Side by side, though, here comes Ken and Kenny as they work side by side. It's going to be Kenny Zeems getting the better of the number 90. He'll take over P number 2. Now here comes Brian Hacker down to the inside in the 11 Illinois. He will now take over 3rd, so your top 3 finishers from last week just kind of invert the 3 and the 1, and that's how we have them running right here on track. Look at A.J. Rogers, though, the driver of the 92. He is sitting there. He has worked his way now up into that 4th position. Max Terriot just behind him. Now Terriot actually going to pass the number 90. Ken Zeems, though, rolling backwards here in the early stages. Started on the outside pole. He is back to currently running in that 6th position. Kenny Zeems trying to take a peek to the inside on turn 2. Wasn't able to get to the inside of Dalton Williamson, so he'll just kind of back off the throttle here and just kind of roll around back into 2nd place. 10 laps, or working lap number 10 as 9 are already in the books. Side by side back here, that is the 10. The 10B of Dan Butler, he is back here currently into the 14th position as he works to the outside here of the number 20 of Josh Slatts going into turn number 3. That 10B there of Butler not able to make the outside really roll as Slat's got around him. They have just flip-flopped positions here in the early stages. Butler started at 14. Josh started back there at 15. Swapped them out for the time being. All the Travis Minto fans out there. Travis is back out on track. He is currently a couple laps down off the race pace, but he is back out here to see if he can work his way back through the field. There you see right in front of him, that's the number 15. That is Alex Slatz. He is on the lead lap, so that is not going to be a battle. Oh, contact out of turn 2. Minto going to turn the 15 around there, but it looks like the green flag will stay out for the time being as we stay green flag racing. Battle for the lead, though, down the back straightaway. Here comes the 7. Kenny going to go straight to the outside in the speed 51, number 7 here tonight. He knows Brian Hacker is on the charge here on lap number 14 as we work down into turn number 13 laps completed here tonight, and these two still side by side. Look like the one that lives got a little piece of the grass down there in turn 1. That's going to allow Kenny to take the race lead here. He'll lead his first lap of the night, leading lap number 15. They all go nose to tail. It looks like, oh, Williamson flirting with that disaster line down there. If he puts the left side tires too far onto the grass in turns 1 and 2, he might get a little bit of a spin cycle out of that number 1, close to the outside wall as they work upon the lap down traffic. That's the number 15. Looks like a miscommunication between a couple of the spotters down there. Now the 15 going to go to the bottom, but here comes Brian Hacker now. He goes down to the bottom also to the inside of the number 1. A.J. Rogers trying to come along with it. Max Theriault also all back there. They get around that lap car as your top 4 open up just a little bit of a gap over Max Theriault. Coleman back here trying to work his way around with the number 90 of Kenzies. They will work around the number 15 as now he continues to fall through the racing field. Fastest lap last time on track was posted by the driver of the number 9. The 9th position was 65, and that was Brandon Massey in the old shed. Chris Fritz looks like he may have had a little problem with his number 3. He is elected to tow it back to pit road. And look at Max Theriault. He is off the pace. Dropping positions through the field. Max Theriault now outside the top 10. We just talked about him as he was running in that 5th position. Oh, contact! The number 2 of Buckley going to go sideways in his draft top entry. We stay green, yellow flag going to come out onto the speedway. So as you just saw it, the yellow flag coming out. Josh Buckley sideways in his draft top. Green Tree Forest Supply machine. Checkered Flag Auto also on the side of this number 2 here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Brand new paint scheme for the driver of this number 2. Let's see if we can find this yellow flag. There you see the contact. There you see the 2 sideways. He's actually able to keep it out of the outside wall. Very impressed with the driving there by the driver of that number 2 of Josh Buckley. So he should be able to rejoin the field as the caution flag came out. So just a little bit of contact with the lap down car as they were trying to work around the outside groove for the driver of the 2. He'll now slot back. It looks like he is actually down pit road. So he will bring the number 2 draft top entry down pit road and maybe slap some tires on it. See who's the biggest loser and the biggest mover here of the race. Right now, your biggest mover is Al Smith out of South Glen Falls, New York. That driver likes to run around on these short tracks all over the iRacing.com platform. He currently is sitting in that 7th position. He is up 5 spots. Old Shed on the side of that. We also got to thank Al Smith and his contribution here. The tonight's race is the Patriot 100 presented by the Old Shed. Al picked the name of the Patriot 100. He thought it, this weekend coming up is the 4th of July here in the United States of America. So Al kind of throwing that name out there. And then also the Old Shed helping sponsor the driver of that 96. And he is a big contributor to the live feeds over there on the Facebook side of things for the Old Shed. Remember, they do go live every Friday night at 7 p.m. Find them over on Facebook. Tell them that your friends here at the Red Light Racing Series sent you their way. So it looks like since pit stops actually kind of shook things up there as we talked about the biggest movers, it looks like Tim Williams, as he stayed out, he will move up a couple spots. He now currently is being shown 9 spots up. He runs back into the 14th position right now. One of the biggest droppers through the field, that's going to be the 42 of Max Terriel, but he's got brand new fresh tires on this 42. There is no tire rule here on a Thursday night. The only thing that matters is who gets to the checkered flag first in one piece. iRacing pace truck lights will go out, so that means we're about to get ready to go back to the green flag racing here at North Wilkesboro. Looks like Kenny Zeems will take the outside here in the number 7. Then the 11 Illinois of Brian Hacker will be to his inside. Row number 2 going to look like Dalton Williamson in the glove block. The glove box number 1 will start their third. Then it's going to be A.J. Rogers in the 17 for anybody following along on screen, or if you're watching our timing and scoring here tonight, that is going to be the driver of the 92. iRacing pace truck is in, and we are getting ready to go back green flag racing. Lap 25 going to start right now as Kenny will lead us back across the start-finish line, and a great start on the outside. A big bobble there by Brian Hacker. And actually, it's going to open up the door because A.J. Rogers had to check up just a little bit. Now here comes the number 1 of Dalton Williamson down to the inside on him. Look at Ken Zeems down on the bottom also trying to work around the number 90 of, the 97 there. That is Don Coleman here tonight in the Phoenix Swagger in entry. Those are your first 2 cars side by side as they work down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Once again, the Swagger in. Phoenix Machine going to surge ahead onto the outside lane. Still got those team cars. Al Smith down to the inside. There's Brandon Massey. Both the old Shed VIP graphics entries here tonight. Trying to come up through the field. Brandon Massey going to have a run onto the outside. He is going to look to take over that 6th position. He has 7th from Al Smith. Smith trying to follow back in line. Massey goes a little high that time, down to 3. Exit of 4 wasn't too good for the driver out of Ironton, Ohio either, so he loses a little ground. Smith's able to let him back in line, and they run single file now for your top 8 positions. Just behind them, Jimmy McIntyre, though. He is side by side with the Green Forest Resupply 43 of Joe Strano. They get it sorted out by the time they work down into turn number 1. Jimmy McIntyre rolling the bottom of this Eddie's Meat Market 81, unsponsored actually on the side of this panel tonight. Joe Strano going to lose ground here. Here comes Josh Slats, the driver of the number 20. He is going to look down to the inside, and that might bring along Tim Williams, also in the 45. Joe Strano just stuck to the outside. We saw a couple guys be able to make passes on the outside groove. Right now, Joe Strano in the Green Forest Tree Supply entry. Now trying to get back around the number 20 of Josh Slats. He will be able to. And now look at the man down to the inside, the all-black 43. That is Max Terriel. He is starting to come back through the field now on those fresh tires. He is up to the 13th spot, and he is not done yet. He's going to look down to the inside here on that 45. Now give Max the 12th position as they head off into turn number 1. Out of turn number 2, he's going to be able to complete that pass, but the 45 carries a little momentum. Now officially into 3, the 42 will take over that spot and see if he can start to run away. Everybody is now single filed out. There's your race leader. There's your second place battle. They were single file for a moment. Brian Hacker, though, trying to run back down. Kenny Zeems. Remember, last week, these top 3, they finished in the top 3. A.J. Rogers last week had a little bit of a disappointing week. He was only able to muster up at the end of that race a 12th place finish. He would looking right now to have a better race. Dyslexia kicking in here at North Wilkesboro as the sun is going down. No lights here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, so we'll have to finish this one out under the green flag circumstances. Right now looking to see where the final car is on our lead lap, and that is the number 15 of Alex Slats, as he did get the wave around. Right now, he is about half a lap behind our race leaders in this number 15 machine, running in the 21st spot. Then Brian Robinson is in the 20th spot. He would be the next car to fall victim to our race leaders if we stay under the green flag conditions. Complete lap 36, now working lap 37 of the evening. There you go, looking back off Kenny Zeems' machine upon Brian Hacker, who is now actually started to open up a little bit of a gap over Dalton Williamson. See everybody else trailing down the back straightaway. They all run single file. Top four starting to separate themselves also. It's about 2 car lengths there between Brian Hacker and Dalton Williamson. Looks like Williamson sends that number 1 lunchbox. Or glove box, lunchbox, glove box, hot box. Here we go, Dalton Williamson. He's running in the 3rd position. He's able to drive that number 1 down into the corner just a little bit farther than Brian Hacker. But it looks like Hacker gets the earlier run off caution flag out onto the speedway. Is it going to be Rex Hoyle parked up against the outside retaining wall? Trying to get that 54 pointed back into the right direction. We're going to have to take the look back. It looks like just a Rex Hoyle. Maybe some contact with a couple drivers back there. We will go back and find out which driver was involved in this one. Rex Hoyle at the time of incident was up inside the top 15 running with that 54. Well, let's take the look back here on our Turn 3 racing replay. There you see him right behind the 45. That is Williams as he runs into the 13th position. Oh, contact there. Chuck Sweeting tried to go to the inside of Rex as Rex just left a little bit of a gap, and Chuck said he needed to go get it for that moment. Let's watch it back here. See if we can find a good angle of this one as they're coming at us going into turn number 1. Yeah. Close quarters racing down into turn number 1. The good thing, though, Rex Hoyle just going to turn the 54 around and slight contact with that outside wall. I don't think there is too much damage done to that 54 machine, so he should be able to get back out onto the raceway, as it looks like a lot of drivers are going to take the opportunity here as we close in on the halfway point to come down and possibly get some tires on their machines. Have to see who took 4, who took 2 in just a second here as everybody catches back up to the pace truck. Race fans, are you in need of auto part supplies and you are in the Ayer, Massachusetts area? Head on over to 103 Park Street in Ayer, Massachusetts. Pick up your car parts now. It is a family-owned and operated business, and they pride themselves on being an independent auto store up there. They are friendly and knowledgeable people behind the counters to sell you reliable auto parts at the right price. So if you need any kind of auto parts, race fans, Checkered Flag Auto Supply, they are where you need to go. Taking the quick gander around the field here. It looks like still sitting down on pit road. It is going to be Joshua Buckley still down on pit road. He is currently right now on the lead lap, and he will actually bring the number 2 draft top machine out of pit road, staying on the lead lap. Dan Butler in the 10B. He will also come back out onto the racetrack. Both drivers taking some time here under this caution flag to get some tires and maybe fix a little bit of fuel. iRacing pace truck lights go out. That means we're about to go back to green flag racing here tonight in the Patriot 100, presented by the Old Shed. The Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series here. They are putting on one whale of a show. 2 caution flags here in the first half of this race, but the racing has been good, and I expect it going forward here the rest of the way to be an amazing battle for the race win. New players up front, though. Robinson, Trano, and Terriel all going to be up here in the front. Brian Hacker, 2 tire stop, and he hits the gas, and he's going real fast down into turn number 1. Hacker going to be able to use the outside momentum out of turn number 2. He takes the race lead, and he is bringing the 43 of Joe Strano along. Here comes A.J. Rogers. They're going to go 3 wide out of turn number 4. The 42 down to the bottom. Robinson going to hit the brakes. Oh, nowhere for the 7 to go. That is Kenny Zeems up the track after contact. Robinson going to go around. Down to the inside, Robinson goes. Caution flag coming out here to bring out the 3rd caution flag of the evening. The driver out of New York, the 37 of Robinson, going around with possibly a little bit of help down in turns 1 and 2. He was able to right the ship, but I believe maybe a couple bumper bars, Nerf bars being crumbled up here. See if we can go back and watch the 3rd caution flag here of the evening. There you see it down onto the grass. Is that 37? He gets a little bit of help. Let's go back here and check it out from this angle here. There you see the 37. Oh, it was the 20 of Josh Slats. He got into the back of the 37 as Robinson was trying to collect that machine. Nowhere for Slats to really go on that one. He was trying to stay off. There you see this is the onboard camera here tonight, supplied to us by the Checkered Flag Auto Supply onboard camera. I mean, not much you can do. Robinson was trying to catch that machine, just wasn't able to catch it in time. As it looks like Travis Minto will be the wave around recipient. Robinson, you see him coming out on pit road. We are officially going to be halfway home next time by. And your race leader is the Austin Designs, number 11 Illinois, Smith Racing Inc. entry of Brian Hacker. Hacker claimed last week when we talked to him in Victory Lane he was not a big SK modified driver, but was looking for something to do on a Thursday night. Stumbled across the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series presented by Red Light Racing. Thought he'd give it a whirl, and, well, he said he had a blast last week, and this week, you know, he said he hasn't turned a lap ever at the North Wilkesboro Speedway in an SK Modified, so we're seeing what it brings, and right now he is doing exactly what he needs to do. Your running order looks like this through the top 5. It is Brian Hacker, Joe Strano, AJ Rogers, then it is Max Terriol back up into that 4th position. Remember, Max was caught up in the lap 1 incident. And rounding out the top 5, the driver of the Speed 51, number 7, that is Kenny Zeems. He runs in the 5th position. 6th through 10th are going to look like this. The number 40, that is Rob Higgins. He is running right there in our Checkered Flag Auto Supply Inc. machine. He is up 11 positions running in that 6th spot. 7th is going to be Don Coleman in the Swagger in Phoenix, number 97. He is 7th. 8th on the timing and scoring, that is Dalton Williamson. He is back to the 8th position. Ken Zeems, who started on the outside row there, he is running in the 9th spot. And then it's going to be Jimmy McIntyre in the 81. That rounds out your top 10 field here at the halfway point in this one at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. iRacing pace truck lights do go out. So race fans, what do you say we go back green flag racing here in just a moment's time, and we see what we will do from this point on. Got a couple Rob fans out there. Rob's, you know, having himself a pretty solid night inside the top 10 for the time being. Glad all you race fans could be here tonight to watch the Patriot 100 presented by the Old Shed as the iRacing pace truck is down and away, and we are racing once again. A great start that time by the 43 of Joe Strano. He'll surge ahead in the Green Forestry Supply number 43. He'll actually slide up in front of Brian Hacker, calls a chain reaction to the outside lane. Joe Strano going to lead us out of turn 4. It'll be his first laps ever led in the SK Modified division for the Red Light Racing Series. He leads a lap here now. AJ Rogers trying to take the lead, or take second away from Hacker, actually, as the lead is still Strano. And now here comes Max Terriol. He's going to play inside the top 3. Can he get around the 17? Not going to be able to, as he is boxed in as Kenny Zeems back down to the inside of the Speed 51 entry. He is coming through the inside, down to the bottom. Another great set of turns there. 1 and 2 for that 7 machine. As they still battle side by side. Look at Coleman. He throws her into turns 3 and 4. And here comes the 90. That is Ken Zeems. Kenny right in front of him. The Zeems are running the bottom freight train right now. 42 of Max Terriol will get around the 7 machine. Now they single file out as everybody is chasing that man. It's the Plan B. Green Forestry Supply 43 of Joe Strano. He is out front, ladies and gentlemen. He is racing on a tablet here tonight, as he is actually going to slide up out of turn number 2. Hacker didn't have the momentum built up just yet into that number 11, so he will roll back into that 2nd position. As actually you see, as we ride on board here with the Nerf camera, Hacker going to get passed up by AJ Rogers here. So Strano goes sideways out of the corner. As he goes sideways, here comes AJ Rogers. Can he lead his first ever laps here in the Red Light Racing SK division? He will be credited at the timing and scoring stripe as leading that lap. So tonight, 4 different race leaders here inside the first 60 laps of this one. Rogers now surging ahead, but he is not alone because Joe Strano is trying to hold off Max Terriol. Oh, almost contact there for a couple of those drivers out of turn number 4. Short track racing at its finest here tonight. Down onto the apron almost touching the grass was the 11 Illinois of Hacker. 3 wide. Kenny Zeems to the outside. Hacker down on the bottom. Where did Coneman come from? Driver of the 97 making his presence known here. 3 wide once again down into turn number 1. Everybody's picking the lane and they are keeping their foot in it here tonight. They know we are within 40 laps here of the main event tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway for the Patriot 100 presented by the Old Shed. Contact there for the 90. Ken Zeems up into the outside wall out of turn number 4. Here comes Dalton Williamson back down to the inside as more issues there for Ken in the 90. Ken losing spots here. Now he loses the 8th position to Al Smith. Here comes Brandon Massey in the Old Shed. VIP Graphics 65 out of Ironton, Ohio. Will he be able to work to the inside and get around the 90 of Zeems, who is now having some handling issues here on the 90? He will work to the inside. Zeems tried to cross back over down the backstretch into turn number 3, not able to. The 2 Old Shed machines going to roll side by side out of turn number 4. Al Smith's going to be able to get back to the line, though, first, just out ahead of them. Williamson and Coneman still side by side, and then just a little bit ahead of them, the 3rd and 4th position are still side by side. A.J. Rogers still leading us here on lap 64. Kenny Zeems a little sideways, a little bit of a wiggle out of that number 7 Speed 51 machine as they worked out turn 4. He's able to get down into 1 just a little bit better than Brian Hacker. Almost contact for Hacker to the outside wall, but he's able to keep his foot in it. He goes into turn 3, taking back that 3rd position. Coneman and Williamson still running side by side back here. Williamson down to the inside in the glove box machine. Not sure which lane is better for both these drivers. Since we've gone back green flag racing, they have ran side by side. Now the number 1 of Williamson will get Coneman, but Coneman going to cross back over at the start finish line. He'll go back down to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Williamson, almost onto the grass there for Coneman. I think if he didn't touch it, it was sure close. He got a little bit of a wiggle in the Swagger in machine. There you see right behind him, that is Al Smith Jr. and Brandon Massey also right there. They run nose to tail for the time being. Still sitting there at the end of this tail, that is Ken Zeems. He is running, looks like in the 10th position here on lap 68. Let's see if he can work his way back up. He started 2nd tonight here at North Wilkesboro. A.J. Rogers has been able to hold Max Terriol at about a half-second gap as that shrank that time through 3 and 4. The sun is going down here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We are racing into what is left of the daylight. No lights here tonight for us to flick on for all you race fans. The lights are going to be presented maybe by the iRacing pace truck down there in turn number 1. As the sun is setting, as your race leader is working up upon the number 15, that is Alex Schlatz. We'll see if your race leader is able to get around the driver that is running into the 19th position right now. A.J. Rogers going to look to go to the outside possibly here in turn 1 as it looks like Schlatz goes up to the outside. Rogers going to cross back underneath. He gets around him. Almost a big moment there for Max Terriol. He had to quickly jerk the number 42 down to the inside. We stay green flag racing, though. Your top 2 are able to get around the slower traffic here on lap 72. It looks like Brian Hacker's able to, along with Kenny Zeems. Joe Strano would be the next car to get to that slower lap down traffic. Looks like Dan Butler's doing a little bit of racing action here. Trying to get around the 45. Butler to the outside. Caution flag going to wave. Brian Hacker and I believe Ken Zeems getting together. See the Speed 51 entry sideways out of turn number 4. Trying to get that car pointed into the right direction. Darrell Clauder also, Brian Robinson involved in this one. That'll bring out the 4th caution flag of the evening. Now let's hit the switches. Let's take the look back here. What happened out of turn number 4 between these 2 drivers? That's close. We're have to see if we have Joe Strano nowhere to go. Coneman, Williamson nowhere to go also. A while the driver's trying to snake their way through. See if we have a little bit of a better angle for us to really dissect this one. This has some big implications in this one. Let's watch from the tower here on the front straightaway. Just a bad placement there to catch that left rear tire of Hacker. And around goes for the number 7. Some contact for a couple of those drivers like Robinson up into the outside wall. Kenny was able to get her pointed back into the right direction, though. We'll see who's going to take over the race lead here, because a couple of these guys coming down pit road here. Lap 74, seeing Joe Strano come down in the Green Forestry Supply entry, so he'll give up the top 5 running position all the way back to the 16th position, running in 17th. There's the draft top entry. Hacker's going to look to be shown currently in the 14th spot after that incident. Trying to see where Kenny Zeems is going to be shown in our 3rd spot here on this restart. We'll restart this one with just about 23 laps to go in this one. So a little bit of a sprint distance for these drivers here at North Wilkesboro. As you do see, the sun is setting. Well, we got to thank all the race fans for tuning in here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You are watching the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series presented by Red Light Racing. Tonight's race, though, here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's the Patriot 100, presented by the Old Shed. So we thank all the people, all the friendly people over there at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply up in Ayer, Massachusetts. And of course, all the people over at the Old Shed. Find them on Facebook also, live every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get yourself a deal, get yourself a bargain, shipped right to your front door from the people over at the Old Shed. But let's go back to the short track racing action that all you fans love. Green flag back into the air. 23 laps to the side. This one, no lights. Let's see. The lights are going to be shining bright here at the end of this one. Little contact there between Terriel and Rogers. Rogers now will do the side-by-side dance down the back straightaway into turn number 3. The 7s are wild. The 7 down there to the bottom. That is Zeems. The 17 of Rogers to the outside. It's going to be Kenny Zeems pulling off the 2nd position. Right behind him, that's Dalton Williamson. Where did Al Smith Jr. come from? He's bringing the Old Shed to the front of the field. He now runs 5th as he got around the 90 of Ken Zeems and Don Coneman that time out of turn number 2. Coneman going to do the battle now. He's got the 45 of Williams right there. Here comes Brandon Massey down to the inside. You see the shadows of the cars out of the headlights of the pace truck driver tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Still side by side here for this position. This is to stay inside the top 10 because Brian Hacker is coming. He is the 10th place car in line there. You see him. He just got around the 10B of Dan Butler. Butler running back into the 11th position right now. Handful of drivers out of this one here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Rex Hoyle, Chuck Speeding, and Christopher Fritz all retiring. But this man hasn't given up yet, and his name's Max Terriel, and his other name, well, not his other name, but the other driver's name, that's the 7 there. That's Kenny Zeems in the Speed 51 entry. 18 laps to go here at the line, and they will be side by side. Terriel going to lead another one, but Kenny Zeems coming back to see if he can put the 7 back on the point. Sideways, but look at the 17 there of A.J. Rogers. He is just sitting, laying in the whim, trying to figure out which one of these drivers is going to make the mistake, and so he can come on by. Al Smith has now taken over the 4th spot. Ken Zeems and Dalton Williamson trying to figure out who wants to hold on to that 5th position. Is it going to be Ken in the 90? It's been an up and down night for the driver of the number 90. He's been as low as outside the top 10 and now back up running in the 5th spot. At the line, though, it will be the other Zeems. It's going to be Kenny Zeems in the number 7 out of New York. He takes the point here with just 16 laps to go as you see him work down the back straightaway. As they work down the back straightaway, A.J. Rogers not going away. It looks like Darrell Clauter possibly having some issues in the number 5 Florida entry. See if he can get off the track. He cannot. Caution flag number 5 will fly here with 15 laps to go. As you see Darrell pulling her back down onto pit road. So with 15 laps to go, the caution flag is flying here. The beautiful sights here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Let's take it back and check it out here. What happened to the driver of the number 5? See him running in that 18th position. Oh, did the 5 it just snapped loose on him. Motor expired. He tried to get the 5 off the racetrack, and fortunately, with your race leaders bearing down on the 5, caution flag here by the iRacing officials being low. Let's check out our Checkered Flag Auto Supply onboard camera. Car just snapped loose on Darrell Clauder, and unfortunately brings out the caution flag here tonight. So now we're going to restart here with, well, probably just about 10 laps to go. Nightfall approaching. We will finish this one off if we have to go by moonlight racing. What do you say, race fans? Has it been a good race here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway? It's the first time any division in the Red Light Racing Series has ever entered the Hollow Grounds here down in North Carolina. A track that brought us so many memories through the 80s and the early 90s, and then just kind of being left to go back to, well, I guess you can call it Mother Nature trying to reclaim the track in the last couple of years. The press box that we have here virtually has collapsed since its heyday. The stands are looking a little ragged. The track that you see here tonight is based back in 1987. It is a beautiful track and feature that they were able to bring back to us for all of us virtual race fans and virtual drivers, as some of us, like, well, myself up here, you know, was only 6 years old the last time they ran a NASCAR race here, with Jeff Gordon taking the checkered flag that day. But who is going to be the first one here in the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified division for the Red Light Racing Series? Who will be the first one to claim their name here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway? Looks like with 11 laps to go, the iRacing pace truck lights are still on here, so we'll go back racing with under 10 laps to go. Your top 10 looks like this: Kenny Zeems, Max Terriot, AJ Rogers, Al Smith Jr., Kenton Zeems, Dalton Williamson, Brandon Massey, Brian Hacker, Tim Williams. Rounding out the top 10 is Dan Butler. iRacing pace truck lights do go out this time by, so we will go racing with just 9 laps officially left here tonight. See if we can finish this one up. Race fans, if it's your first time here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, go ahead, hit that little subscribe button, get all the notifications anytime we go live here, whether it's myself in the booth or even, well, you see the driver out there on the outside of row number 2, Al Smith Jr., coming live here in a couple of weeks, as he'll be hosting a couple series, but it's all about these drivers here in the Modifieds for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series here as they go green flag racing. 9 laps officially left in this one. Kenny Zeems to the outside of Max Terriot. You can barely see the all-black number 42 down there to the inside lane. Those two drivers are battling for that number 1 spot. Coming back to the line this time, it'll be just 8 laps to go. The 90 of Ken Zeems down to the bottom, trying to make it 3 wide with AJ Rogers, and the number 96 of Al Smith. He had to lift off the throttle. Look at Brian Hacker. He's trying to get back to the front here after he had to go all the way to the back. Contact, couple of them up into the outside. One looks like that was your race leaders. And it's the big one here at North Wilkesboro. 42 of Max Terriot is on his lid down there. There you see the 7. That is Kenny Zeems. We will have to throw it back here on our replay. Let's watch your 2 race leaders as they battle down the back straightaway with just coming to get 7 laps to go. Oh, Max, I think, hits the curb down there, and that's going to shove them up into the outside wall. The 45 is involved. The number 20, 81 of McIntyre involved in this one. We'll have to watch it back. I think Tim Williams, Darrell Clauder, Josh Schlatz all involved in this one. Let's watch it back here. Let's go on board with the 20. There you see what he saw. And Tried to stay down to the bottom groove. Stationary camera here tonight on the number 20 by Checkered Flag Auto Supply. Hard contact there for Josh Latz. He was able to carry on and continue, but a lot of damage on him. There you see the 45 of Williams. He was able to get that car pointed back into the right direction, but a lot of damage on a lot of these drivers, and we'll see. This might take us into overtime racing tonight. So 6 caution flags right now have been flown here tonight in the Patriot 100 presented by the Old Shed for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series. As you see the beautiful lights on that Chevy Silverado. Taking a peek through the timing and scoring, seeing where some of these drivers are. It looks like Max Terriel had to take the toe to pit road. It looks like Kenny Zeems also having to put the 7 on the hooks here tonight. So that'll give us our 5 drivers, or Terriel, Zeems, Hoyle, Sweeting, and Fritz, who have retired from the event here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's going to be 3 laps to go this time by. Let's see if we can get these guys doubled back up here and go back to the green flag racing. Or will we need overtime to finish this one out? Lights go out on the pace truck. We're going to have a green-white checker finish. This is not overtime attempt number 1 here tonight, so that'll still be left in the books. Race fans, do not adjust your television sets here, your iPhones, your Android phones, your Samsungs, your computers. It is dark here. The sun has set here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. No lights here on this speedway to bring us nighttime racing, but we are racing into the nighttime. Al Smith going to be that white car down to the inside. To his outside, that is the 17 of A.J. Rogers. As we go back green flag racing, 2 laps on the board here. Just 1 more mile of racing as they race into turn number 1. To the outside, A.J. Rogers gets a great start there in that number 17. Looks like caution flag onto the speedway, and try to see. I'm looking out, trying to find out who is turned around out there on the speedway. I think it looks like the Checkered Flag Auto Supply number 40 of Rob Higgins may be involved in this one. We'll have to take the look back here. Let's see if we can find what happened to Rob. Trying to see as they went 3 wide down there in turn number 1. Oh, there you see the contact. Buckley gets tapped and turned around by Higgins, and then Higgins gets tapped by the 10B of Dan Butler. Conditions may be playing a factor into this one out there, as we have tried to adjust the camera brightness for you to show you racing action here tonight. There you see the contact between the 2 and the 40. 97 of Coleman was involved in that also. And then the 40 and the 10B of Butler getting involved. And oh, the 15 actually going to go around there at the end also of Alex Schlatz. He was right there at the time of that one. So that brings out caution flag number 7 this evening. Have to see where we go from here, as the sun will set even farther here. The darkness will rise before we get back to the green flag racing. Tonight's race, though, brought to us by The Old Shed via Facebook Live. Check them out, The Old Shed, over on Facebook. 7 o'clock tomorrow, they will go live with their weekly auction. You don't want to miss the deals that you can steal over there. Join Facebook Live, and you see an item you want, tell them you want it. Just simply type in chat the number of the item you see on screen, and they will shoot you a message. And it will be shipped right to your doorstep. Running order here, though, with our first official green-white checker attempt. It's A.J. Rogers, then it's Al Smith Jr. Ken Zeems in the 90, Dalton Williamson in the number 1. The 65, Old Shed. That's Brandon Massey. He runs currently in the 5th position. Brian Hacker is 6th. Joe Strano is 7th. Josh Slatz is 8th. Don Coleman is 9th. And Brian Robinson is running in the 10th position. Looks like Dan Butler has pulled down onto pit road. We'll see if he can get that 10B back out on track. Darrell Clauder is back out on track, it looks, in his number 5 machine after taking the spin out of turn number 2. Lights go out on the iRacing pace truck, so we're giving another whirl here when you come off turn number 4. The Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. A.J. Rogers going to take the outside lane here, forcing Al Smith back down to the bottom. 2 short track racers that have battled each other for years on the short tracks of the iRacing.com platform. But the green flag comes back out, put 2 laps back up on the board. Al Smith down into turn number 1, trying to see if he can get a last-ditch effort around A.J. Rogers, but Rogers will lead us down off turn number 2, down the back straightaway, now entering turn number 3. Brian Hacker trying to bring his number 11 Illinois. White flag will fly. Final lap here at the Patriot 100 presented by the Old Shed. A.J. Rogers is trying to go to the shed right now. Al Smith trying to bring the Old Shed. Right now he is one of the highest movers of the race as the checkered flag as we exit turn number 4. It's going to be A.J. Rogers being the 2nd rookie of the season in victory lane. Al Smith Jr. will come home 2nd. Dalton Williamson will come home 3rd. Brian Hacker finishes officially in the 4th position. Ken Zeems in the number 90 comes home 5th. Brandon Massey will come home running in that 6th position. 7th, going to go to Joe Strano. Don Coleman will finish there in the 8th spot. Josh Slatz will go 9th. 10th will be Brian Robinson. That rounds out the top 10 drivers here at the Patriot 100 presented by the Old Shed. A.J. Rogers is going to do a little celebrating. He is going to see if he can burn them down here at North Wilkesboro. As it looks like he'll burn it down, we'll see if we can catch up with a couple of these guys here in just a couple of seconds. So as he burns it down, we're going to step away real quick, race fans. We'll be right back here to the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Welcome back here to the North Wilkesboro Speedway, race fans. Timing and scoring scrolling across the top of the screen. Pick out where your favorite driver just finished here in this one. Tonight's race was brought to us by the Patriot 100, presented by the Old Shed. Catch them, race fans, every Friday night, 7 p.m. on Facebook Live. Get your deals and get them shipped to you. But let's get into the post-race show here tonight. Post-race show brought to us by the Checkered Flag Auto Supply right here tonight. Coming home in our 3rd position, driving the number 1, is Dalton Williamson. Dalton, another strong podium finish here for you in this crew. Did you have anything left in the bank for A.J. Rogers or even Al Smith, who finished, somehow he came around you? I missed it.
Maybe Al. I don't think A.J. To me, tonight, I didn't practice at all week. Kind of had a long week. So, car to me was like really kind of all over the place. Went in and out all night, but no, I think I had something for Al, but not AJ. But like I said last week, man, these guys are fun to race with, and I'll definitely keep coming back.
Yeah, the racing out there tonight looked hot and heavy, that is for sure. Tell us about the turn 1 and 2. It looked like the one car was able to get really down there into turn number 1, but coming out of turn number 2, that grass, it looks like you played Russian roulette a couple times with it tonight.
Yeah, I did. I don't really know why, but I kept hitting it. And it kept upsetting the car, but the car, like I said, man, it was just very inconsistent tonight. Kind of all over the place.
So what you're saying is the grass didn't make it any faster?
Nope.
Interesting. I would have never guessed, slicks on a modified and grass just don't work together. I would have never guessed it. You heard it here tonight, race fans. Dalton Williamson has already tried it. You don't have to try it. Take his word for it. I can't drive either. That's why they put me up here. But hey, enough of that. Another podium finish for yourself. How does this momentum, how are you going to be able to keep this rolling through the season here as we head to the Oxford Plain just next week?
Well, I feel like if I practice a little more than what I have this week, I think I could win one. But I don't know about Oxford, man. Like I said, Concord seems to be the place for me. I don't know. We're going to try to get it next week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the tricky 3-turn track. Dalton Williamson claiming he might have something there, race fans. That's a tricky track to get your first win on, especially with a field like this. But Dalton, before we let you go and get to practicing here, who do you got to thank for another podium finish?
Like I said last week, man, you for broadcasting, Joshua, all the guys in here that run every week. Man, it's a good group of guys, like I said. As far as sponsors, Globebox Motorsports, Tim Williams, Don Codeman, and everybody that helps me compete in open every week, man, couldn't do it without them. Other than that, not too much.
Well, there you heard it from the Glovebox Motorsport driver, or the Lunchbox, depending on which lap we're on here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Dalton Williamson flirts with disaster in turn number 2, but still rallies back for a third-place finish. Cracking the podium here tonight, coming home in the second place out of South Glen Falls, New York, it's the Smith Racing Inc. Old Shed driver. Al, maybe a little bit more of a special podium finish for you in the whole Smith Racing Inc. group. You come home second in your second race ever, but tonight, the Old Shed on the side of the car and the Old Shed on the banner of this race.
Yeah, you really can't thank Brandon Massey and Jerry over at the Old Shed for all they do for us. They came on board. I told them I was running this series and I was unsponsored, and they jumped on board, and the VIP graphics that Brandon did made this car look very, very nice, and glad that we could at least get one of the cars on the podium in the race that they sponsored here tonight.
Yeah, you were able to jump up 10 positions, starting back all the way into the 12th spot, working your way into second. Tell us about your race overall, though. You started back there in 12th, so you saw a lot of racing action. It was hot and heavy towards the front. What was it coming up through the middle of this field?
Yeah, it was just hectic. It's like rush hour traffic. Yeah, everybody's so close on times. I think qualifying, everybody was separated by at least the top half of the field was less than a tenth or 2/10 of a second. So just the car was a little bit snappy in 1 and 2. You could roll the bottom in 3 and 4, but it was just really, really just hectic. You get runs running the outside, and the guy would get to your inside, and then the guys in front of you were stacked up, and you really had to mind your P's and Q's. And but it was really hectic, and I really thought we made the wrong strategy. We stopped and took 4 tires when everybody came down pit road, and I got passed by a few cars that took 2 tires, and I thought we were done for it. But the yellows fell the right way. I hate that Brian Hacker had a rough night, but I think he rallied back to finish in the top 5. So good to see that both of our cars are in there. And our satellite car with Brandon Massey, he was inside the top 10 as well. I mean, him and I were running pretty hard there side by side for a while.
Yeah, good battles for you both, side by side for a good portion of this race. Tell us about the end of this race. It's a little unusual. It's the first time ever running here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, and no lights.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, that the last their first green white checkered finish there, it was a little treacherous. I didn't quite get in the turn 1 because I wasn't sure where actually my line was gonna be, and I didn't want to wash up and get into AJ, and so kind of played a little bit safe and was able to stay right with them and at least pressure them for the win there. It was a good battle, but it got really dark here, and maybe we can lobby for them to put some virtual lights here for later on in the season if we come back here and run in the afternoon again.
Yeah, we'll see if we can possibly get back here into this raceway with some lights on possibly. But Al, a second place finish, got to feel pretty good here tonight. Who do you got to thank for coming home in second?
First of all, I got to thank Josh and everybody at the Red Light Racing Series for letting us come in. It's my rookie season, and if you would have told me I would have finished on the podium, I would have told you it would be nuts. So this is probably going to be the highlight of my season, and I really just got to thank VIP Graphics, the old Ford, or the old Shed. Check them out on Friday nights. They do tomorrow night. I think that they're doing one tomorrow night for Independence Day for July 4th. I got to thank Ford Performance and Pathfinder Chassis and everybody that helps us out at SRI to make all this stuff possible week in and week out. And Well, we'll load up and go home, scrape the rubber off this, and we will take and get on there. But I really just thank everybody involved. The group of the caliber of drivers that's here is just really high, and then to be able to come home second. I know some of the front runners had some issues, but just to be able to even run inside the top 10 is an honor. So hopefully we can just keep the momentum rolling.
Well, there you heard it from your second place finisher here tonight. Al Smith going to bring the old Shed Smith Racing Inc. entry home on the podium. Congratulations to him. I think we have caught up with your race winner. Race fans, let me see if I can grab a quick word with the driver of the 92. If you're following along on the timing and scoring, let's see if we can grab AJ Rogers. AJ, yeah, got a copy with us. Looks like AJ has a muted mic for the time being. We'll see if we can get back with him in just a second. If not, he is your winner either way here tonight at the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. It sounds like we may have the driver of that 92. AJ Rogers, you got a copy?
I think you got the wrong AJ.
Well, we got the wrong AJ, race fans. Look at that. It's coincidence that we're sitting here broadcasting the race and an AJ wins it and an AJ pops into the chat, and ladies and gentlemen, it is the wrong AJ. Coincidence or not?
I'm sure that he is excited to have won this race.
Well, let's just interview this AJ. AJ, how was your race?
I guess it was really good.
Able to come up here at the end. The lights didn't come on at North Wilkesboro. You race into the night, you win this race.
Sure. Sounds good. Got my night vision. Got my 20/20 vision.
Sounds great to him, race fans. Well, wrong AJ, so we're just pop off that. AJ is the winner here tonight. AJ Rogers, that is. So congratulations to him. He wins the Patriot 100 presented by the Old Shed right here tonight. The Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series. So congratulations to him. Comes in as a rookie, wins his first race. It's got to feel pretty good to that whole crew. They're out there celebrating. But, race fans, that's going to about to wrap things up here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Next week, we head to a little bit different style of a racetrack. We're going to head over to Oxford Plains. It's going to be a little bit narrower, no guardrail for a lot of these drivers. It's going to be something new. As you see, it's completely black already here. It's a blackout. Next week, though, we will have lights, and we will bring you more racing action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Group. Well, for everybody over at Checkered Flag and the Red Light Racing, I'm Roger Muth here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. We will catch you next week.